All right, good evening. I greet each and every one of us on this channel. I welcome you to another update. Today being the 23rd of May 2025. It's a wonderful Friday for every one of us, and we give thanks to God and we bless His holy name for everything He has always been doing. Now, lately, there has been another wave of anticipation that is tied around a date. I wasn't the one who fixed it, but I discovered lately that there has been a wave, a spiral motion around a date tagged 29th of May. It has surfaced repeatedly in discussions, in dreams, in some spiritual insights. Now, no one has officially tied anything specific to the date, but it appears there is a strong sense in the air that something is about to shift. Could it be the day of this long-awaited disbursement? Could it mark the activation of this mandate? Could it be the fulfillment of divine promises spoken years ago? We do not know the full picture yet, but this much is clear. If May 29th is the day, then praise God. Let His will be done. Until then, we wait, not passively, but with active faith. We will prepare our documents as usual. We're going to align our expectations as usual. And most importantly, we're going to stay spiritually alert and awake. And I think for the records, I want to drive us a little bit backward down the memory lane of one or two things that happened in time, the lines we have crossed, the hurdles, the obstacles that we have crossed, and some men who stood out within this line, certain people who said one thing or the other till we got to the level where we are right now. And so when we touch on those men or say certain things that pertains to them, you will understand what they had done in time, what they had said in time, what had been their submission in time, whether they are worth believing now or they should be discarded. So I just want to take us down the memory lane so that we know where we are and where we're headed. In this moment that we have right now, that is riddled with some measure of delays, uncertainties, and some conflicting voices in the atmosphere, sometimes endless speculations coming from some organs, I believe that a few moments stand out as turning points, which we can always make some references to. There are some defining events that alter the course of our expectations. It also reshaped some public opinions, and in the process, they solidified trust in people that have been chosen by God to lead in one way or the other within this ecosystem. One of those moments, I think it's raining now, so in case you are hearing some sounds at the background, it's just the raindrops. So one of those moments was one time when Osim successfully convinced Nigeria that Apostle Ken Nwakama is the true mandate holder of the UAAG, and it is not Theobald, as many had initially believed. And for months, the atmosphere was clouded with so much confusion within that time that beneficiaries were trapped in cycles of hopes and disappointments. They were unsure of who to believe or what to expect in the foregoing. The name Theobald was everywhere. It was firmly stamped in the minds of some grant seekers as the face of the promise. But then there came a shift, a divine turning point that was initiated by Osim. Osim declared it to the people that the real mandate owner and the real mandate holder is the country director, Apostle Professor Ken Nwakama. That was one. It was. It wasn't also just Osim. What Osim said that actually count. It wasn't just what he said, but the way he said it. He said it with some measure of facts and clarity, with some spiritual conviction that couldn't have been faked. After all, he presented Apostle Ken not just as another player in the grand space, but as the one that God had chosen, the real person that was the true mandate, standing in alignment with the heavenly blueprint of the grant disbursement. Now, I saw then that it was a moment of awakening for many people. The blindfolded of misdirection fell off the eyes of countless Nigerians. Then for the first time, people were not just hoping, they were believing with purpose. And then, just like that, the narrative changed. Suddenly, the winds shifted. The whispers on the streets, the chatter within the community groups, and the discussions in prayer houses also were echoing the same thing. Apostle Ken has the mandate. He is the one to watch. Now, this wasn't just public opinion. It was a spiritual attainment and realization. Now, but as always, where there is truth, lies often rush in also to oppose it. I could remember that as more Nigerians started aligning with our revelation about Apostle Ken being the mandate holder, the AGPGN began to release some counter statements to confuse the public. Then, and their first line of attack was that anybody can disburse the grant. Apostle Ken's name is not in the official document. That was their first line of attack then. And that was a strategic move that was aimed at planting seeds of doubt. But those seeds never took root. Why? Osim came out once again. He came forward with boldness and clarity to debunk that misinformation. He did not merely just defend Apostle Ken then, he promoted it with more passion, reminding us and everyone that God doesn't work by popular vote or manipulated documents. He also reminded us then that the presence of a name in a paper doesn't equate to divine mandate, or spiritual assignments come with heavenly backing, not with human validation. So that moment was another turning point. More hearts turned in, more minds opened, the faithful head on even very much tighter. But then, I'm just casting our mind back to the memory lane. So then the AGPGN was not done. They weren't done. They returned again with another narrative that was designed to incite disappointment and lower some expectations in people's mind. What did they say? Then they claimed that the sharing formula for disbursement had been finalized and that each beneficiary will receive merely 100,000 or at most 300,000. And that singular declaration by the AGPGN sent some shockwaves into the hearts of the people. Social media boiled. It boiled with outrages. People began to question again. But then Osim came out again. He stepped in like a spiritual firefighter, extinguished the blaze of that misinformation before it consumed the people and the masses. He debunked that claim entirely and spoke to us with a firm tone of a father who refuses to see his children being deceived. What did he tell us? I could remember he reminded us then that each beneficiary's portion runs into the millions, not mere thousands. And the grant was not a political stipend, but a divinely ordained economic shift that was to come for everyone who believed in it. The amount that was spoken by AGPGN was a mockery of the magnitude of the covenant that God had made with his people. It was a mockery, a total mockery. So then Osim didn't just restore the hope, he rekindled it. And for that, many of us will be thankful for that debunking assertion that came to him and reject our hope again back to life. Now, why in times of confusion, people follow the loudest voices, but in seasons of destiny, they follow the wisest voices. One of those that stood out still within the grand ecosystem, not just for his consistency, but for his unshakable ability to be able to discern spiritual truth from carnal noise, was Osim, and is still Osim. His advice has always been simple but powerful. He will say, follow who know road. And that statement has saved a lot of people from derailment. He doesn't speak from ego. He speaks from discernment. He doesn't follow trends. He follows divine instruction. He doesn't seek applauses. He seeks alignment with heaven's agenda. He just released a statement. Was it yesterday or so, where he talked about how he's been living for 2 years in an hotel, paying his bills, and a lot of things came up. He has his personal challenges, but then he couldn't have to come to the open and bore anyone with that. He doesn't have to sell slots. He just had to just maintain his low profile wherever he was lodging for 2 years in an hotel. And just because he wanted to get the best out for everyone in the middle of those crises, is out there to tell us the truth. Those truths might have failed at different times, but you should see, one thing that we should look at is there is a man still left behind telling the truth, telling us about things that happens on the inside and what could have broken our hearts at different times. He came to debunk it that is not so. He just debunked one about the breakdown of machine that sent some people into the hospital. And a lot of personalities, after hearing that, they came up again. Some that would have passed on through that shock waves. While others rushed to go viral, he stood still and waited for divine validation every time. That kind of leadership is rare, is precious, and it appears prophetic. And because of that, thousands of people have also refused to be moved by new voices in the air fake reports, shifting timelines will remain grounded, not in noise, but in conviction. In conviction. So that wave that is rounding now, that is moving now, May 29th, if this is the will of God, then praise God. Let His will be done. If this is the will of God, then praise God and let His will be done. But as we move closer to this mysterious date, and as we continue to battle with misinformation at different places, you have to stay aligned with the right voice. Follow the path. Don't follow clouds. Trust leaders whose consistency has already stood the test of time. The enemy's primary tool is discouragement. Don't let delays dilute your faith or shrink your expectations for one little bit. Prayer is not just a backup plan, it is the master strategy. Cover every moment, every leader, and every document in prayers. Don't be a tool in the hands of misinformation. Speak only what uplifts others, what informs others, what aligns with the truth. Let your accounts be active. Plan wisely for what's coming. Millions require stewardship. Don't forget, millions requires stewardship. Conclusively, this journey has been long. Yes, at times it has felt like walking through the valley of the shadow of doubt. But we have not walked alone after all. We've had Osim, a faithful guide at different times. We've had Apostle Ken, a chosen vessel. And above all, we've had God. We've had God who never forgets His promises. He never does. So, let the doubters mock on. Let the networks be fabricated. Let the skeptics analyze. But we will hold on. We believe that this season is the beginning of a testimony that is going to be sung in homes. It's going to be sung in homes, in our houses, across Nigeria and beyond. We believe that divine justice is about to be manifested. And we believe that May 29th, if this is God's will, is not just going to be another date on the calendar. It may be very well be the day that prophecy will kiss fulfillment. And when that day comes, we will not say we were lucky. We will say God did it. Let us watch and pray and prepare. The best is not just coming, it is very near and right at the door. Thank you very much. Subscribe to our channel and share this video to very many other persons to hear what we have at a time like this. And do have a very nice night rest. And God bless you. I hope you could hear because of the sound of rain. We love you. And God bless you. Bye for now.